Man, this Jussie Smollett thing just keeps getting crazier and crazier and crazier because yesterday, he was arrested. He was arrested and charged with filing a false police report, which is a felony in Chicago and which would come, if found guilty, with a sentence of 1 to 4 years. He was there was a bond of $100,000 placed upon him. He then paid it and he made his way out into the world, being shielded by a guard to make sure that no one could see him. No one could see his shame. And now we're left trying to figure this whole thing out because Jussie Smollett played the system. Man, he played it great. We have to agree. This dude hatched what could only be described as a real good plan for trying to get what he wanted, which ultimately, and this is just the most shocking thing, I thought he was afraid he was going to get fired off the show, which I'm not agreeing with anything he did, but at least as far as motives go, kind of makes sense. You're afraid you're going to get booted off the show. You're kind of the character is not doing what you want it to. People aren't paying attention. People aren't liking it. So you fake this hate crime. And then at that point in time, your popularity is so high that there's literally no way that they're going to be able to write you off the show because the backlash would be so huge that you would get to stay on and maybe get a bump. And in terms of scenes and where you set on the placement, it's a good play. It was a good plan. One problem though, police do their job and that's not ultimately what happened. What ultimately happened was he was not happy with how much money he was making per episode. Yeah, it was a financial thing. He was upset at making, and this is true, $68,000 an episode is what he was making. $68,000 is what Jussie Smollett was making per episode. And he was like, not enough money. Not enough money. But then again, Empire is in like its 4th season. The show is pretty popular. And he probably keeps hearing all these stories about the cast of The Big Bang Theory making $1 million an episode, where they each walk away with around 21 to 24 million each season. Why isn't Jussie Smollett getting the Big Bang Theory money? Why isn't Jussie Smollett getting the Friends money? Why isn't he getting $1,000 an episode? I don't know. Maybe show up more often. Do your job. I got no idea. So instead of going to the producers of the show and saying, I would like a raise, please, or living within your means, and as a person who lives well within their means, $68,000 an episode, keep in mind, you shoot 13 episodes a season. So, that's a lot of cash. That's coming up on around $1 million a year. Never mind what else you do in the process for endorsements and sponsorships and things like that. I could live on $1 million a year. Hell, I could live on $40,000 a year. One episode work on Empire for me would be enough to float me the entire year and still have a good living. But no, Jussie Smollett wasn't well enough. Jussie Smollett wanted more. He was too much like his character on the show. He saw the Empire. He wanted the Empire. So he faked a hate crime. He went to, and this is true, he went to his personal trainer's brother, who was an actor on the show in a prison scene, paid them $3,800, $3,500 with a check, apparently, rehearsed the crime, rehearsed the hate crime, had them go and buy red hats and a white rope from a hardware store. And then at 2:30 in the morning, while he was on the phone with a witness, he was attacked and assaulted, thinking it was an airtight plan, that there was no way anyone would find it. And even talking to one lady from CBS when she asked him, like, do you think these guys will ever be found? And he played this story about a friend of his telling him that these guys probably won't be found because this is, white America, and there's so many white people and white dudes in a red MAGA hat. It's going to be hard to find. It covers their face, except they were two big Nigerian dudes who, did this job, right? And that there'd be no way to find him. Except they found him. They talked to him. Those guys, man, they freaking dropped the info so quick. They spilled that tea so quick. As soon as they were busted, Jussie Smollett was screwed. So instead of going and talking to the cops and the cops wanted to talk to him, he goes and he hires a crisis management team. Then he gets indicted by a grand jury for falsifying the report. And he's in a deep world of shit. Even Empire is saying, well, we don't know what it's going to happen. We might suspend him. We might suspend him. We might fire him. I almost want to say at this point, it's kind of dumb if you do fire him. It's kind of dumb if you do. This is great publicity. What you got to do, though, is turn the character into just having a bad time. Write the worst possible storylines for Jussie Smollett's character on Empire and just make him pay in regards to humiliation and degradation in front of the American Empire viewing audience. That to me feels like the appropriate response from the show if he doesn't go to jail for 1 to 4 years for filing the false report. Never mind the whole incident involving the powdered aspirin and the hate letter sent to him via the mail, the U.S. Postal Service to the set of Empire, which comes with a minimum 5 years in prison for the federal felony that technically becomes. So Jussie Smollett, in an attempt to get more than $68,000 an episode, because apparently that was too much to live and work in Chicago. And now listen, to be fair, the guy does have a manager. He does have an agent. He probably has a publicist, a stylist, a thing like, he pays people. So, that money is not as much as you might think. There's also taxes. So there's money may not be as much as you might think. And that part I get, but still, when you're not making as much money as you want to be making, here's what you do, Jussie. You trim the fat. You don't hire 2 Nigerian brothers to beat the crap out of you in front of your building while pretending to be Trump supporters. I'm sure it was their most challenging role as human beings, but they still ultimately failed because, they don't really fit the profile. And how did that sound? When, how would it sound when he says, this is MAGA country? Did the guy in the phone hear it? Was it like, this is MAGA country? I can't do an African accent. I can't do it. I don't know the Nigerian accent, but like, would he not hear there would be a distinct dialect in the vocal patterns of the attackers? Right? I'm just saying there's a lot that goes into it. But this story ultimately is a fascinating one to me because of how much it was pushed. No one asked the question. Everyone just reacted emotionally, which was the whole point. If enough people react emotionally, no one's going to look to see the man behind the curtain, because to them, the man behind the curtain is not even an issue worth looking at because of the grander implications. We've kind of seen that with the coverage of Matt, what it is with YouTube and this whole, exploiting children situation. Now people are taking a look at the man behind the curtain, and that's blowing up in a different way. And when the authorities investigated this and thinking that they were going to find that, Smollett thinking they're never going to find anybody, they found him because cops are good at what they do and they have access to a lot more tools and a lot more things than what you think. Besides, at 2:30 in the morning, middle of the week, dude gets assaulted. It doesn't make any sense. But didn't stop the media from pushing it, celebrities from pushing it. And now they've all got egg on their face. And Chicago's chief of police is like, you all suck. You guys suck. What are you doing? This is ridiculous. And they're doing that. And they're having a bad old time. They're having a bad old time. So let me ask you guys this one. What do you think should happen now? He's been indicted. Guaranteed he'll be convicted. What do you think is going to happen to him? I am genuinely curious to know. Do you think he'll get time, or do you think they're going to keep him on Empire and use it as a way to boost the ratings? Be a smart move if they did, I'll tell you that. Anyway, your thoughts, your opinions, let me know down in the comments below. My name is Matt Jarbo. Have yourself a great day, guys. If you want to support the channel, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and you can always find more in the video description, Patreon, Subscribe Star, or become a channel member. It really does help the channel out. Have yourself a great day, guys, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. And you check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.